Alright, sorry about that start. Not entirely sure why it was giving me such an issue there. Alright, so we are looking at the Cup Series race for Richmond. We do not have Tyler Reddick, at least at the moment. We don't have Tyler Reddick going to the rear. I doubt they will make changes at this point that will reflect him going to the rear or anything like that. When I look at this race, for me, I'm going to punt in every single line. I'm either going to play J.J. Yaley or Ty Dillon in every single line. That's just what I want to do. I don't really like the builds that I'm getting that don't punt in it. I assume that this race is going to be pretty chalky at certain tier point or at certain price points, because I end up on a lot of Briscoe, a lot of Cindric, a lot of Chris Buescher. With Chris Buescher is fine, but like I don't really like Briscoe. I don't really want to have a ton of Cindric. I don't really want to be with the field on that. I'd rather be underweight. And so for me, I'm going to play J.J. Yaley or Ty Dillon in probably every single line just to pay up to just have a different build. Past that, the people that I like to win, because everybody always asks me, who do I... First off, if I mention them, it's because I like them to either win, lead laps, and so on and so forth. Tyler Reddick, Denny Hamlin, William Byron, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Larson. Probably going to be my primary focuses on these builds and on these lineups. Kyle Busch, I'll squeeze him in there if I feel like I need to. I probably won't end up with the Kyle Busch line. I like that Reddick has the first pit pull. I like that Tyler Reddick has the #1 pit stall, which is good to see. You know, and we look specifically at pit stalls because look, this race is going to go green. We're going to have green flag pit stops. We're going to have clearly pit stops at the end of stages and stuff like that. Let me move this over, and then we can really start talking about this here. And then I want to do... Okay, here, we'll do all this together. Those are my primary targets. So let's start going through and looking at stuff together, shall we? All right, so... first and foremost, when we go to short tracks, okay? Now, typically for intermediate tracks, I like looking at running position. I like doing my little formula, which I still do for short tracks, but just to make it easy to look at. We're gonna look at the last 5, probably last 6. I think. Let me think. I don't want Dover to accidentally be included here. So when we look at these races here, our last 6, let me just make sure these aren't the tracks I want to focus on. I put over. Yikes, 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 yikes. Sorry. I'm pretty sure I just did the exact same thing. Wow, what a thrilling start to this. Brother, I'm clearly autistic. Hold on, let me put this back on. Oh, it's because I'm an idiot. That's why. Okay, cool. All right, my bad. I was not hitting links. I was still putting this in, and I was like, we're not getting our things. There we go. I've already lost literally everybody who was here, because I was like, we are not, fuck it, I don't give a shit, I'm not doing 10 again. When we look at, dude, bro, see, never do math, never do anything. On ovals, less than 1 mile, correct? Brandon? Correct? Here we are. Don't know, that's why I don't do dick in a live show, because it just ruins everything. Anyway, when... I just X'd out of it again. I'm so sorry. Anyway, when we look at these races here, okay, primarily speaking, I want to look at the next-gen cars. I want to look at the races at Richmond. I need to include Phoenix on this next run, Martinsville, and New Hampshire. That's why I normally do one. I was just having a full-on moment here. So as I continue to look at this, as we're gonna do this another time, dude, we've done this 7 times so far, and it's not getting any more enjoyable. There we go. We got Larson at the top. This is good, okay? Probably need to include Phoenix, but at this point, I'd rather just fucking put a bill in my brain than run this again on public live. Anyway, when we look at the races this year on short flat tracks, we can include Phoenix as well. I know you have the finishing order. You can do that yourself. Who has been the best cars in these races, okay? This gives you a pretty good representation. Now, granted, this is going back to next-gen stuff. You know what I mean, whatever the case may be. But our current drivers, our current good drivers have been Larson, Byron, Harvick, Truex. We'll see Logano pop up. We'll see Blaney pop up. At this point, I'm not going to run this thing again because I've already wasted 4 minutes of your time. I do apologize. I was doing this for a visual representation, and we have completely just ruined any form of anything there. When we look at the drivers, it is these guys who have shown speed. It is these guys who have shown consistency. This might be one of the worst fucking streams I've ever started. We see these guys popping off. We see, Bubba Wallace able to maintain a running position here. We need him to get the lead day. Let me take him off. This is a horrific stream. I'm actually really pissed. You could tell I'm dealing with a shitload. Not only with the breakup, I've been incredibly pissed off the last 2 weeks. I've been frustrated. I got such a short temper. It's clearly boiling over into the live shows now. So fuck looking at data, okay? This is the main point I wanted to start off with. I just wanted to bring this up to show, but fuck it, whatever. Tyler Reddick, starting on pole. Number 1 pit stall. Great to have here at Richmond under yellows. Great to have under green flag pit stalls. We see that Joe Gibbs Racing typically wants to short pit before the rest of the field, which is good for a track like this. Who falls into that category? Christopher Bell, Martin Truex Jr. We can say Ty Gibbs, but in terms of wanting to compete for laps led and stuff, it is pretty much Denny Hamlin and Martin Truex Jr. who will be leading the field, in my opinion, down pit lane to short pit most of the field. Most of the time when we pit under green here, and it'll most likely be the 5, 24, 4, those guys reacting to it. It would be out of characteristic for Hendrick to short pit before Joe Gibbs. Not saying it can't happen, but when we look at green flag pit stalls or green flag pit stops, and we typically see a race that goes green, specifically here at Richmond, it's usually Joe Gibbs short pitting first, unless the 24 or the 5 believe that they can get the advantage at the very end of the stage to pass them on the long run, with them having the better tire wear just to start off. Because typically we have the Joe Gibbs cars in front, and then it's the Hendrick car, specifically when you look back at this race last year, you had Bowman, who would constantly, gain 3 or 4 positions because he had them on pit stall because he started first, but he would end up starting restarts 4th, and then he'd fall back to 4th or 7th. Same thing with the other Hendrick cars, and it was when we look back at these races here, when we look back at these, not Martinsville, when we look back at Richmond earlier this year, and you look back at the people who led laps, okay, so Bowman starts first, falls back to the field. Second place takes over, if I can find that very quickly here. We have Kyle Busch take over, shortly, because fucking Bowman just drops like a sack of potatoes. And then Byron holds on. When we're looking at running positions, clearly this is laps led. When you're looking at running positions, it's Byron, the Joe Gibbs cars, and then Larson, because Larson's having to cut up through the field. And just other people starting up front. Like, you got fucking Chastain, you got Bowman just holding his position, you got Kyle Busch, whatever. But when we entered pit stalls and we entered green flag pit stops, it was Joe Gibbs. This is a fucking terrible stream. I'm actually truly pissed off at all this. These people I'm targeting. That's just how it is. Okay, these are my primary targets. I love that Byron is clearly just mispriced again. Why are we not playing Byron each and every fucking week? I don't understand that at all. Byron is 9-9. Reddick is 8-9. You have 2 very good potential lap leaders for less than 10K. After that, it doesn't even fucking matter what Truex, Hamlin, or Larson does. You can just afford them. Okay? I like Larson. I think people are going to want to chase Hamlin. I think people are going to chase Martin Truex Jr. When you're paying up for drivers, I think we see Larson come in at a lower ownership compared to what he probably should be at. I think between those 3, it's probably going to be Hamlin, Truex, and Larson. I want to be overweight on Larson today. That's just where I'm at. I don't give a shit about the place differential. I give a shit about where he's been running in the short tracks, where its current speed is, and everything like that. So a majority of my lineups right now are starting Reddick, Byron, and Larson. And you can very easily, if you don't want to do Larson, you can very easily do Reddick, Byron, Truex. I think that's probably going to be a popular build. And if it's not, because now I only have SaberSim, and I don't really trust their ownerships at all. I don't even bother looking at that stuff. But even when I ran with different, working backwards, putting in different projections and things like that to get a better idea of what the builds are going to look like, I don't believe Byron is going to be nearly as owned as he should, because I think a lot of people are going to try and go Reddick, Hamlin, probably another expensive guy. Or you're paying up for like some of the 8K guys I don't necessarily want to be at. Or you're paying up for Christopher Bell. I feel like Byron and Larson are going to get overlooked today, just from running different things. That's where my stand is. Okay, that's my main stand for these guys. That's mainly how I want to build. Okay, if Reddick fucks up, whatever the case may be, we've always had speed from 2311 here in these cars, even before. If you remember, Kurt Busch had phenomenal speed, blew a transmission on like lap 4 years ago. Bubba's shown speed, just haven't been able to do it. The fact that Tyler Reddick starting first, I'm perfectly fine with playing him. Why would I never, I'm never going to turn down the guy with number 1 pit stall. That's just how it is. That'd be stupid. I don't think I'm going to go nearly 100% on Reddick, but I certainly probably want to be over the field on him with my lineups. But for example, if you go Reddick, Byron, Larson, leaves you 68, you go ahead and throw in Yaley, you're at $7,800 for your main 2 guys. You can get to Buescher, you can get up to Suarez, you can fucking play Eric Jones if you want to go down that road, which I wouldn't suggest, but you can build whoever you want with those guys. That's primarily how my lineups are going to be looking. People that I don't want to play, not going to play Stenhouse. That's just how it is. I'm not getting to Priest. I'm not getting to Gregson. We're certainly not playing B.J. McLeod. We're not playing Harrison Burton. Upside I don't believe is there. I think that's a bit of a trap play. The only guy in the 5K range that I foresee working out, to be honest with you, and in pretty much any situation, is Corey LaJoie, which he should be very popular. I haven't really messed around with the builds that I can get if I go Yaley and LaJoie, but I think that's a fantastic way to start a lot of lineups. Okay, this is short track race. We are focusing primarily on the lap sled. Okay, unless you're on FanDuel, then you're focused on more finishing positions, stuff like that. But I want people who are going to lead laps. Okay, who are the people who are going to fight to lead laps? It's these guys that I have in green. It's most likely these guys. Possibly Kyle Busch. Who knows? Maybe Chase Elliott. He needs a win. Getting kind of stupid. We gotta make some changes, or not some changes, but we gotta get some strategy, get him up there, whatever. It's these guys here. Harvick is probably going to run 5th all day. Probably going to scrape off some fast laps. He's 10,100. Needs over 50 points. I don't know if he's going to work in a point per dollar play, because when I look at drivers, when I look at plays, it's not about, can he get fast laps? Can he get there? It's what does the team realistically need to do? Harvick needs to go out there and win this race. How does he do that? It's going to be on strategy. It's going to be on short pitting. How likely is that to happen? How likely is he to short pit and get ahead of everybody else? Not very likely. Not saying it can't happen, but I'm not going to be playing Harvick. And I really do try and not do the whole, this is a situation that can work for anybody, because I fucking hate those videos. But like Harvick is 10-1. Why am I going to pay for Harvick when Hamlin has a much higher probability of getting fast laps, laps led, and winning this race on merit alone than Harvick? Bell is back here too. Bell, do we think he gets laps led? Do we think he gets the lead? Okay, I'm not giving him a ton of fast laps, but I currently have Christopher Bell at 59 points. Okay, if this race, has a situation like this, he will be pushing probably the 3rd lap leader out of the optimal lineup. Okay? He has a real chance of pushing the most expensive guy who, if that guy doesn't lead the most amount of laps, because as I said, I love Byron, I love Reddick, so say if Hamlin leads 60 something laps, finishes third or whatever, and Bell doesn't lead shit, gets like probably 9 to 18 fast laps in this race and finishes like 7th, he's clearly going to push the most expensive guy out. Okay? So Bell should probably be a pretty good priority play for a lot of people. As I said, rotating back to, hey, I don't think Larson is going to be played today. Hey, I don't really think William Byron is going to be played nearly as much as he should be for this reason. Okay? Bell works in most situations I can find. Outside of him going a lap down at the start, which is his only downside. We've seen it before. Track position is huge here at Richmond in the early race. If Bell goes lap down, then it's over. If he can just stay in the lead lap, I don't give a shit if he finishes stage 1 in 23rd. Just stay in the lead lap. He's going to work. Thank you very much, BVP, for the support. Thank you for being back. Thank you for the super chat and everything like that. I do appreciate it. Yeah, we're off like a herd of turtles, man. It's rough. It's rough. Yeah. Well, it's these guys here. So if they track, so many drivers get lapped. We're looking to play. So I've been doing a lot of different combinations at these short tracks this year of playing guys up front to stay up there, playing, not necessarily place differential plays, but like Bell's is probably the best example today, and Suarez, but Suarez is just fucking slow. However, he's probably still going to hit 5x, just based on him probably finishing in the top 20. As we get more aggressive in this next-gen car, because you got to remember, last year you couldn't fucking pass at all. These guys didn't, it was still not foreign, but they didn't realize how much pushing they could do in these cars to move people out of the way. So the first year of this, people didn't pass at all. You didn't have many people losing positions. Now we're getting back to the point to where if you've shown fast speed at short tracks, that's going to translate. If you show speed at intermediates and you start in the back, that's going to translate to you being able to pass here. So like Chris Buescher, for example, starting 26th today, he's going to finish like 13th today. Buescher is going to pass people. That's just what it is. All the data supports that he's going to have a way better car than 26th. So he's going to get through the field. Bell is going to get through the field. Suarez is probably going to pass some people, okay? Eric Almirola probably going to go from like 24th to maybe 18th, 19th. And so throughout a 400-lap race, I find it likely that guys who start in the back, as long as they survive not going a lap down, are going to be able to get through the field, which, like, duh, of course. But realistically speaking, like, we're not playing Justin Haley because we expect him to stay in the lead lap. No, but it's like, I'm more and more hesitant to play guys who are going to have to hold on to their track position for the entirety of the race. As I said, like Priest, Gregson, we're not playing him. Stenhouse, I don't believe I want to play him. Ty Gibbs, Bubba Wallace, I find it very unlikely that they're going to work out to be in a winning lineup. I doubt they're going to be optimal, but I doubt they're going to be in a winning lineup. They might cash, but in terms of trying to pinpoint a lineup that's going to finish in the top 10% of a contest, I'm probably not going to build with guys holding on to their position today. And I kind of answered the Bell play, not even trying to get there. I think Bell's a great play. I think playing J.J. Yaley and even double punting today makes a lot of sense. You're not, and I mean double punting with like LaJoy and Yaley. I don't necessarily want to do Ty Gibbs and Yaley together. But when we look at the salary, we have really cut off like potential plays. Okay. Let's do this for show here. At this point, I mean, I've basically just talked about everybody that I want to. I know it's a very convoluted stream. But like, I need starting positions next to these for this example. Where are we at? Actually, I need... Yeah, man, I chose a bad time to just shit talk NASCAR content. And then showing up with this fucking live stream. Holy God. So BJ McLeod, okay? We're not playing. We're not playing Gregson. Make your argument on LaJoy, or not on LaJoy, on Gilliland. We're not playing Harrison Burton, okay? So at the bottom tier of the salary, okay, we have LaJoy, who has probably the safest floor of anybody in this race. Probably the safest play in general. High risk play. Gilliland has to hold on to his position the entirety of this race. I'm leaning on the fact that he doesn't do that, not out of him not being able to perform. I think he'll probably finish with the advantage that he has starting 16th, the advantage that he has with choosing what pit they want. You know, like this is going to certainly help him probably finish better than normal. So Todd Gilliland's probably going to have a career day and finish 22nd. Not going to work for DFS. Okay, so at the bottom of this stuff, we're not playing, Ryan Newman. We're not playing Haley. We're not playing A.J. Allmendinger. We're not playing Eric Jones. We're not playing Stenhouse. We're not playing Dillon. We're not playing Parise. Okay? So when we look at the bottom of the salary, who do we have here? We have 5 drivers that you can realistically see them either not killing your line or working out. Okay? And clearly as we get up higher here, this is more the same thing with McDowell. So we have pretty safe place differential play. A little bit more expensive, but pretty safe place differential play. It's safe in a sense of, yet again, not killing your lineup. Cindric might score 27 points today. Okay? Not going to hit value, but not going to kill the lineup. Same thing with LaJoy. We get to Dillon and Yaley. Yaley, I understand he's starting 35th. He can lose a position from 36. He's not going to lose you any points at all. What he starts with is what he has, okay? So when you're building lineups, when we're actually up here targeting people, like we want to play, I don't know what fucking letter I want to use for this example. These guys are in play. These guys are in play. This guy is in play, okay? So, we're already not using this range because these drivers don't have upside, realistic upside. It's going to lead to Chase Briscoe carrying ownership, as I said when I started. It's going to lead to Eric Almirola carrying ownership, as I started. Okay? So the chalk is probably going to migrate to people here. Okay? We see Soares starting in the back. I'm sure people are going to play him. Chris Buescher actually makes a really good play, as I said, have shown speed everywhere. People are probably not going to want to play Bubba Wallace. Okay? As I said, this is why I want to be underweight on these guys, because a lot of lineups are going to funnel this way. Like, if you're playing Ricky Stenhouse today, I understand. But, man, what are we doing? You're not building your first 30 lines. You're not touching Stenhouse in the first 30 lines you're making. If people are playing, and when I'm not saying people individually, like you throw it in the optimizer, you throw 150, you throw 20, whatever the case may be, it's because the optimizer's throwing, these guys in lineups. I think those are going to be not deadlines, but they're not going to win. I don't see them competing for winning contests today. Okay? We get to Ty Gibbs. Realistically, probably not going to be there. Blaney, Chastain, we're just not getting there due to who we're paying up for. Okay? We're not playing Logano. Okay? I'm not playing Kyle Busch. I'm not playing Harvick. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay? Count 17 because you probably don't need both these guys. Okay? So what stories, what races play out to where you need that? What builds play out for you to need that? Well, you're probably playing Bell. Probably has the easiest likelihood of being optimal today. Okay? So Bell would work in there. Okay? Reddick's starting on pole. He's mispriced. $8,900. Easy to fit in, easy to pay off. Guys, He needs like 45 points, okay? The guy could lead 40 laps and just run fourth all day. At least in my head. I can go back and check that. That's what he needs. He doesn't need to blow the socks off. He doesn't need to win. I don't give a shit about his win equity. Just can he maintain his running position? Through the pits, pretty high likelihood of that. We saw that from Alex Bowman. We see that from people starting with pits here. That'll help them gain at least 2 to 4 positions on pit lane if they happen to lose that in a green flag. He had speed in practice, okay, so he's not like complete dog shit. He's probably going to maintain a run position in the top 6 all day. So you probably need Reddick. You probably need Bell. At that point, that's where the lineup is going to be decided, in my opinion, for winning optimal lineups, stuff like that. Is it Larson, Truex, or Hamlin? I like the lower-owned Larson. I also like Byron. I want to try and get to those guys. So you can see why very cumbersome, in a very, long-winded way of why I have the guys that I want to play that I'm interested in, Man. Unless I'm playing Logano, I'm not fucking playing Penske. Nope. Thank you, Wes. Hamlin early dominator. Yes, pretty much. I mean, he can be. When I look at, look over here. So I have laps led. These are my fast laps. They're not fast laps. These are my lap led people that I have projected to lead laps. Okay. Reddick, Kyle Busch, Hamlin, Chase Elliott, Bubba Wallace, Byron, Harvick, Truex, Larson. Those are the only guys I gave any projections of any laps led to. Okay? When I rank those of how likely they are and the amount that they have, I have Denny Hamlin with the most projected laps led today. I then have William Byron. I then have Reddick, Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Larson. Those are how I have them ranked in terms of the amount of laps that I gave to them. And the Kyle Busch has to be projected because what happens if Reddick shits the bed and doesn't lead right off the bat? Well, then it's going to go to Kyle Busch. He would be the direct recipient of that. So I'm not going to play Kyle Busch today. But I'm not going to project him for 0 laps led because that's pretty unlikely. You need to at least look at situations where he can possibly get the lap led if and when Reddick would have issue. But yes, Hamlin as an early lap leader has a really good likelihood. Like he's probably the best play on the slate for overtaking on a green flag run, for overtaking during a green flag pit stop, for passing under yellow. Hamlin fits everything. That's why I think Larson makes a lot of sense, okay? When we look at these races here, and I understand I don't have Phoenix in here, but, Larson is there. Larson is going to be there. Larson can drive through. Larson has proven this year that he can drive through the field when he starts in the back of the field. Okay? Larson, I think, has just as much upside, and I don't believe the field is going to be playing him. Same thing with Byron. That's where I'm at. Will Newman be a lapped car factor? I don't know what the fuck that means, Smokey. Can Brad Keselowski work today? It's not... I can't implore people to listen to the Theory of Daily Fantasy Sports more than now. Because I'm so sorry, Vinny. Like I said, I got a super short temper. I hate fucking questions like this. Can Keselowski work with a top 10? Well, he's starting fucking 13th. Okay? Yeah, I'm in a real shitty mood. I really got to make sure I don't just piss everybody off. He's starting 13th, okay? With a top 10. He gets he finishes 10th today. That's 38 points. No. He's not going to work. Okay, what if he finishes 9th? That's 40 points. No. That's not going to work. Finishes 8th. It's 42 points. No, that's not going to work. Finishes 5th. That's 40 points. That's not. My bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Finishes 6th. That's 44 points. It's barely value at 44. So we would need a top 5. Like, why do I have to answer a question like that, dude? Like, that's not a tout question. That's literally a projection standpoint question. Like, you should know, like, he's starting 13th. He's $8,600. He needs to have a phenomenal day to work. So, no, we're not probably going to play Keselowski. Okay? Last time I was here, we were talking business. We were talking about the starting business, Cole Custer, Anaheim. I don't even remember that. What's up, Scott? Yeah, dude. And then, I mean, look, like, that stuff, lulls, like, if you guys aren't listening to things like that, you don't understand, like, game theory, I don't know what the fuck to tell people, man. I just don't get it. Like, man, it's just, I just get so frustrated asking. That's why I don't know, man. For me, I X out a lot of guys, like Austin Dillon today. Chase Briscoe. Okay, let's do Chase Briscoe as a legitimate chalk contender. Chase Briscoe. Let's get down to brass tacks and talk about fucking Chase Briscoe here. When we look at, yes, Chase Briscoe does have, well, we won't even look at Phoenix. Let's look at this one here. Chase Briscoe. Pretty sure this is shorted. This is sorted by, I don't know what racing reference sorts by. I'm pretty sure it's by average finish. No. Right finish. Doesn't fucking matter. I really don't care. 5th at Martinsville. 12th at Richmond. Last year, okay, to provide context, he finished better at Gateway. He finished, let me bring this up here. Let's see. Well, actually, Gateway, he gets involved in that wreck. New Hampshire finishes 10th. We're seeing that Chase Briscoe runs better at the tracks that don't have as high banking, that don't have as high as top speed, because Stewart Haas's big issue has been the intermediate discrepancy speed that they have compared to the field. So yes, Chase Briscoe should run better than what he normally runs, because this is returning back to one of his short tracks. With that said, when we look at, do I have the practice laps in here? Yeah, I do. Forgot if I uploaded them or not. When we look at Briscoe, oh, but what group was he in, Brandon? Does that matter? That's a big discrepancy. I mean, does it really? Like, yes, the first group was way faster. However, the fucking guys who were still going to be fast are still going to be fast. We had this fucking conversation last week. When we look at Chase Briscoe, he was in the second group in practice, which was way slower, okay? But when we look at this fall off, and we look at where he's running, like, this is a pretty fast fall off. It's not about what he's running in terms of where he is stacking up. This is a pretty disastrous fall off, okay? Especially when you isolate his laps and then compare the fall off percentage to other people. It's not necessarily based on the lap time. It's based on the, like, what he's doing relative to his own laps. Like, Chase Briscoe, I don't think he's going to have that. Where are we at? I don't know if he's going to have that, okay? So he's starting 19th. What's a great day for him? Great day is probably 10th to 12th, okay? So what's the likelihood of him doing that? What's the percentage of him doing that? I gave him some fast laps, and I currently have Chase Briscoe finishing 13th, okay? That's 36 points. That's a straight 5x value, okay? So I take that projection, I put it in the optimizer, and I see, wow, it's giving me a lot of Briscoe, okay? I'm giving him pretty much a ceiling day. 13th to 12th is pretty much as good as it's going to get for good old Chasey. For good old Briscoe. For good old Chasey Chase, man. That's really the best he's going to do. Okay, so what happens if he doesn't do that? Let's say he still has a good day and he finishes 16th. That's 30 points. That's a dead lineup. That lineup is fucking killed because you're paying 71 for him, man. That is hurting your line. His 30 points from finishing 16th. That's pretty rough. So when you look at the percentages of him performing better than 12th to 13th, well, then if that's the case, I don't believe there's a lot of, not even leverage. If he's having a good day, the field is having a good day because he's chalk, okay? I'm not fading him because he's chalk, but I'm fading him because, like, I think people are also going to play him, as I said, when we broke down the pricing here, because this is what people do. Once you start looking at this stuff, they're going to be in the 7K range. They might not be able to afford Buescher. It's probably going to be between these guys. I think Briscoe's probably going to carry ownership today. So when you look at the percentage outcomes of this individual driver, regardless, like isolating him from the field, 12th, 13th, 11th, high end of his day, ceiling day. If he's doing anything more than that, I mean, clearly we have all missed data somewhere. If Briscoe goes out and wins this stupid fucking race, that's an outlier performance. If he goes out there and has legit top 7 speed, that's a bit of an outlier performance, specifically when you look at everybody else who's going to compete for the top 8. You're telling me Briscoe is going to have a speed that's going to outrun Hamlin, that's going to outrun Byron, that's going to outrun Reddick? No, not really. So his top 10 finishing positions, or his top 10 finishing upside is limited, small, not there. Okay, that's unrealistic. Okay, it's him carrying more speed than normal, finishing 11th to 13th. Yeah, I mean, that's going to give him value, but I don't see that upside. Like, I just don't see the reason to do that. I just don't see the reason to play that type of risk here. Anything less than like 13th day, he's killing your lineup. So that's how I rule things out. Like, I'm not going to play Briscoe today. I don't see that. I don't want to. It's not that I don't want to, but like, you know, when you look at the percentages of what's he going to do in terms of working in an optimal lineup, that's a very low percentage of that. Working in a winning line, well, he's chalk. You know, if other plays work and he works out, okay, that's kind of more realistic. Is he going to cash? Yeah, I can see realistic situations where lineups like that cash, and I can see realistic situations to where he finishes 17th and he forces the line to not pass the cash line and stuff. Based on construction. So going back to like the Brad Keselowski question, like you should be asking yourself this. You should be going over everything I just went to on Briscoe for every single driver. Okay, and then once you do that, you're like, well, yeah, why would I ask a fucking stupid question like, how's Keselowski gonna do? If he gets a top 10, is he gonna fucking work? Like, come on now. Care to explain why I don't like Penske? Why, like, how, yeah, so, now, yes, this is laps and, you know, the fucking thing. I don't want to deal with this stuff and be like, well, the groups are different, Brandon, you know, we got, so we got Logano here. Okay, actually, let's bring up everything over here as well. So, Logano is in Group B. Blaney is in Group A, the fast group. Who's the other guy? Cindric. Group A. Let me make sure. See, I pay so little attention to this now. I'm like, man, am I sure that Group A was the faster one? It had to be, right? I'm pretty sure Group A was faster and Group B was slower. In my head, I'm pretty sure I'm remembering that, but I don't remember. Anywho, if Blaney is in the fast group, let's, here, we'll do this together real fast. Because at this point, I do not remember. So, let's look it up. Let's go ahead. I mean, at this point, you are here to just talk to me and ask me questions. I'm pretty much done talking DFS stuff, so Now I'm just answering specific questions. For those of you that are like, that I always get like messages being like, you just rant and stuff. Well, I always say my piece at the start of live streams, at the start of videos. The back half is me just ranting, having fun. All right, so that is Pocono. I need... Okay, all right. I wanted to look at the actual stream and not just going on the PDF from NASCAR. I mainly wanted to look at the actual stream for practice to answer this, because I did get the question on it. Oh boy. And of course they don't even fucking list it. All right, Bob. I can see, this is how little I look at NASCAR stuff, because I assumed that NASCAR puts what group they're in. Oh, so when we look at practice speeds, okay? I don't even know what this is, man. I don't. Oh, that's lap number. Fast lap number, total laps. I could have swore they used to put it in the groups here. Guess not. Don't really matter. Buescher has legit speed. Okay? Buescher has shown legit speed at short tracks. He's shown legit speed at intermediate tracks. He was third in practice. Okay? Regardless of where the group that he's in. It just like Byron, just like you do with Byron, Truex, Hamlin, Larson. 4 guys who show speed week in and week out. It's very rare that all 4 of them are just going to be slow as fuck, okay? So you can use them as a baseline of where they're at. Buescher has had some great speed, okay? We know that this time is probably a legit like top 12 time, okay, when you look at everything. Eric Jones, no. Haley, no, that's fake news. Ty Dillon, no, that's fake news. So where are the discrepancies? Where are the drastic changes, okay? When we look at Logano, when we look at Penske as a whole, they don't have the speed in practice. They don't have the same thing here. Not necessarily related to what everybody else is doing, but this fall off here is very concerning. You know, Blaney, okay, has to drive through the field. Is he going to get laps led? Maybe. Like, once we're 2 hours into this race and we're on lap 287, you know, at 400 or entering the last 400 laps, who knows? Blaney might be an 8th. But at that point, he needs to lead the last half of the race to work. Okay? Same thing. What needs to happen for Logano to be in the winning lineup? For Blaney to be in the winning lineup? They have to show astronomical speed. They not only have to do that, they have to hold on to that in long runs. They have to beat the guys who are legit fast here, which is Hendrick, Joe Gibbs. You know, those 8 cars alone, and they're not all going to be in the top 10, but those 8 cars alone are difficult to compete with in terms of speed. Okay? So, like, why are we playing Penske? Like, why? What is the upside? What's the likelihood of this stuff? Like Cindric, if you want to play Cindric today, I completely understand because he's $5,800. You know, you need to get to places in that range. But like Logano for 97, Blaney and 9, like there's a reason they're starting here. There's a reason they're fucking slow. Like we're just not getting it, man. Head to head, who has the better cars between these 3 individuals here? It's Byron, Elliott, Logano by a long shot. You know, who has the better cars here? I would say Chastain has the better car over Blaney. I would say Reddick has a better car over Blaney. You know, like it's not worth looking and playing these guys. I just don't see it. Thank you very much for the super chat and the support, Ryan. I really appreciate it. Yeah, but Blender rules, man. I like all that stuff. I like being knee deep in DFS. I like analyzing stuff. I like looking at things like that. Would you look at tracks this year that are like Richmond and drivers trying to figure out these Yes. Always default to running position to percentage of top 5, top 10. top 15, etc., fast laps, positions gained and lost on pit lane, than the practice data. Practice data is great to see. You know, as I said, I keep going through, and how many people we got? We got 151 people watching. This might be one of my worst, most tilting live streams ever. I appreciate you guys are still here. I really hate a lot of other content because it's made by people who I don't even believe they've even sat in a fucking car before. They're like talking about random downforce they know nothing about, talking about fixing shit they don't know anything about. The practice speeds and different, like, if you look at practice speeds like this, not like that, like, I X'd out of it, like this. Whoa, man, the sky is falling down. Like, what? Bro, yes, we know, like, anybody with a brain, Helen Keller, you know, Anne Frank, like, anybody, people who don't even exist anymore could tell you that Ty Dillon does not have the 8th fastest fucking car. Okay, Corey LaJoie, where is he going to be in this race? Anywhere from 17th to 27th. Okay, Yaley, Newman. Like, guys, just think about the data. Like, look, and I mean, those might be extreme cases, but like Eric Almirola, 5th. How likelihood is that the case? Probably not really. Like, the practice data isn't as bad as people think. I don't see the issue. I don't see the problem with the different groups. If you're looking at just the numbers, then yeah, the issues are there. But if you're using like context clues in your head, like, we can still plan out where everybody's roughly at. Say, Denny Hamlin's 34th fastest in Q or in practice, but he qualifies fast, and he's been fast at the other short tracks this year, the other flat tracks this year. But the practice said he was going to be slow. Like, what? I don't get that. I don't get that stuff, man. So the practice times, like, I like looking at the practice times, but using context, going in, understanding where everybody should be and seeing what they're doing in practice compared to what that should reflect on the people that they're racing against. Like, okay, they're in drastically different groups. First group is like a second slower or second faster, whatever the case may be. Well, how are they still doing compared to everybody else in that group? What's causing that to be faster? Who's in that group? Like, there's a lot of things that go into it. You know, between practice, when practice starts and they qualify, I understand they use different groups to qualify, but the track has changed drastically. Where does the car set up from qualifying time? Because we really don't have Q trim anymore, okay? Qualifying is very reflective of what a car can do in race now, because we don't have Q trim anymore. They can't make changes past that, so they don't set cars up for qualifying anymore. That's a good indication of just raw speed alone in qualifying now. So, like, just look at everything together. Don't isolate stuff. I don't know. J.G. Yaley, top 5. I don't even know how to respond to that without anger. Ryan, no Keselowski today, Russ. Is it possible to fit McLeod? No, if you like Travis. Like, I don't recognize your name, so I have to assume you're just an idiot. Like, whenever I see people like who watch me, they're like, yeah, they're trolling. Let's get something. Like, I've never seen your name in here, Travis, so I just assume you're just an idiot. Nah, man. I thank God I blocked the porn bots. That's why I make people subscribe before they can comment. That's the only reason I have that on. Yeah, thank you very much, Ryan. Just here for the rant. Thank you, Dave. Have you sat in a car, JJ? Yeah. What else, man? I think that's mainly it, man. I was watching. Here we go. I mean, at this point, do you guys have any other questions on anybody else? At this point, I won't yell. If you just want my take on somebody, just let me know and stuff. Past that, like, let's really rant, man. I'm going downhill. So raise your hand or type in the comments. Do you guys like FSI and Magruder or whatever the hell his name is? Because there's only like 4 content on like NASCAR DFS now. You know, since Pierce left, other people have left. Like, do you get anything from him at all? Like, I have to assume that FSI is just scamming everybody. Because when I listen to stuff and I hear, like, blatant assumptions, I'm not talking, like, DFS points, but when you're like, well, you know, this is his home track. He's got to perform very well here. You know, this is a recent repave. He's ran here before. Like, I just hear all this stuff that's clearly, like, you're bullshitting me, dude. I know you're bullshitting me. Because I know what I'm talking about, and I don't even make assumptions like that. Like, you have to be bullshitting people. And if you're bullshitting me on NASCAR, which I know, then I have to know you mail it in on MLB, on NFL. That's how I know, like, SaberSim and True DFS. I don't get paid by them. I don't do anything. Sheets, Bobby Fi, they know what they're talking about. Okay? Different sites. When you go to certain people who play NFL, they know what they're talking about. Okay? But if I'm like, I focus on NASCAR. When I hear people like blatantly lying or giving like bad info on something that I know about, then that means I can't trust them when it comes to a sport that I don't know anything about. Like, I don't make projections for NFL. I don't pay attention to fucking who's the third string wide receiver. Okay? But like, if you're over here telling me that, you know, some dude in like the Alpha Prime car is this and that and this and that, and I fucking know that's not the case, I can't imagine the bullshit you tell people about a fourth string wide receiver on like the Buccaneers or something. Like, I'm sure they will, Andrew. They'll get better in time. Yeah, like Chris Pennell knows what he's talking about. He runs his shit. He knows his shit. He knows his projections. And I think he'd be a force to reckon with if he put more time into NASCAR. Like, if he did Xfinity and truck, he would probably be killing it in terms of content, in terms of subscribers, you know, which he already has more. But he would be, and probably financially too. He would do very, very well if he did that. Like Chris, I listen to Chris's show because I like his opinion. Now I got to get through all the bullshit questions like, what's cash? What's a cash line? But I'm curious to know what Chris does. He's good. Like, yeah, Magruder. Yeah, dude. And like I said, I got a really short temper this weekend, and I know I haven't listened to the Cup one yet, if he made one. But I know, you know, he went to the dentist, had some teeth removed and stuff like that. So I was like, I didn't know if it was because he was still kind of loopy, if he's on pain pills. But just every time I listen to that, it's like wild. It's wild stuff. Can't believe anybody even fucking likes those videos. $7,300 driver. Eric Almirola. I prefer Eric Almirola a lot more than Briscoe. I would try and get to Buescher. I'm assuming if you're asking about Eric Almirola, you either already have Buescher or you can't afford him. I would try and prioritize the two guys above him if you want to be in the 7K range. That's just it. How many people will like Kyle Larson or wreck today to prove he's a man? Dude, everybody's a dirty driver, man. Hamlin's dirty. Larson's dirty when he needs to. Like, look at any race at Darlington. Larson just fences fuckers in these races. Oh yeah, dude. Like, I can't. No, I'm not gonna keep. I don't like that stuff. I would never give money to FSI. That's my biggest gripe. I think I'm done talking there. What else? I think that's really about it. I think I've ran about enough. I think I've done about enough. Truex, Larson, Hamlin, Bell, Byron, Larson, the main guys that I want to target. I'm probably going to punt at the bottom here, hoping that we get some attrition, hoping that we get some people wrecking. And Yaley can finish like anywhere from 31st to 28th. That'd be very nice. That'd be very good. And Hamlin, if you remember, fucking Yaley was doing pretty decent in Richmond until he got dumped by Hamlin earlier this year, and he finished 36th. He had pretty decent speed, but we've seen A lot of carnage. These guys get dumb and dumb. They start wrecking. I mean, it might be the leaders that you have being wrecked on that line, but there's a good chance Yaley will get a top 30 today. And when it comes to him being that cheap, you need him to force his way in. When you look at the salary stuff, there's such a drastic drop off from the realistic $7,100 play here to the 5K play here. You might as well just try to avoid the 7K plays here. Play Cindric, play LaJoie, play Yaley or Ty Dillon. Stick there, stick up here, avoid this main range. That's just how it is. It's a short track, a lot of laps out there to do. They are brutal. The site is horrible. I don't know. I've never even clicked on it. I can assume, if the content's if the content is that bad, I can't imagine. I just can't get it, man. Say what you will about me. I might be, a pretty big asshole right now, but I try and make content that's good. That's why I was so annoyed that the start of the stream was so bad. Some companies just put out content on everything. These guys can't. Yeah. So also, I don't mind if a site covers a lot of things. If you have a lot of contractors on it, if you're like stochastic, that's stupid name. Awesemo. Awesemo.com, some people like them, some people don't. I don't really know what they do for NASCAR. Now, I don't know who's doing that now. It was always kind of funky and stuff. When we look at Truck Series stuff, I don't know who's necessarily. I'm assuming it's still Awesemo's main projections being input there, but there's always discrepancies in terms of the value stuff. Things like that. I don't have roto grinders, nor have I ever really talked to Stevie or whatever, so I don't know. I just hear from the grapevine about his projections and ownership sometimes being there, sometimes not being there. But if it's a big site that can support people to have, not even experts, just people talking. If anyone wants to hire me, pay me $2,000 a month. That's what I would want, man. Basically minimum wage, man. Pay me $2,000 a month. I'll put my projections on your site or whatever. If you're working for anything less than that, I don't know. If you're working for anything more than that, probably they're not going to hire you. So it's usually people in the middle, whatever the case may be. I don't like it when it's one guy covering drastically different sports. There's a reason why I don't talk about F1. There's a reason I don't talk about League of Legends. There's a reason I don't talk about esports. Because I do my own stuff. I play those and make my own projections. I don't think that's good enough to be putting out and stuff like that. I've had some great days on those sites. Same thing with NBA. I know jack shit about NBA. I know nothing. I don't even believe basketball is a sport. I think it's probably the dumbest sport out there. Outside of baseball is also stupid. Basketball is just so dumb. But DFS-wise, I was building lineups in the playoffs on Showdown and had a fucking killer month in April. But I know nothing. If I was out there same thing in my Discord, people would ask me for my NBA stuff. I tell them, well, today I'm playing this, and they wouldn't cash, and then I'd feel pretty shitty, whatever the case may be. It's, I'd rather just cover one sport. I'd rather just have whoever enjoys covering a sport, cover that sport. Don't spread them so thin. I don't know. That just me. What's going on, Clutch? Good morning, Logan. What's going on? Thank you, Chris. Yeah, Bubba Wallace, man. I'm probably not going to play him. It'd be really cool to see him get a win, but I just don't think I can do it today. I don't see it, man. He has to leapfrog a lot of people. I'd much rather just play Busher. Let's see. Yeah, thank you, Clutch. Travis, let's play a head-to-head. Travis, I'll just send you fucking nudes, man. If you want me to suck your dick that fucking bad, I'll just send you fucking nudes. Or I'll just go suck your dick. If you come to Houston, I'll just fucking suck you off. I really don't give a flying shit about head-to-heads. All I play is GPPs with pretty much everybody else who plays NASCAR DFS. If you play the 15 today, you're playing me. That's all I gotta say. What's up, Andrew? yeah, Vitality's awesome. Yeah, we've been live for an hour now. We really haven't talked DFS, like true NASCAR picks. I'm so sorry about the start of this stream. That was ridiculous. So I do apologize for that. I apologize for my short temper and anger right now, but that's just pretty much the only emotion I know right now. So sorry if I'm a little high strung and stuff like that. Haley or log out. Please log out. I'm telling you, man, if you're thinking of Haley, just play Cindric, man. I don't know drastically how higher Cindric is his potential is, but like colleague, look, man, they sent the cokehead AJ Allmendinger to fucking finish 9th at Road America because they don't believe in their short track package that much. So Haley is pretty much in the same boat there. Thank you very much for telling people to do that. And yeah, I'll be live from Winston tonight. We're at Indy tonight. What else? I think that's about it. If you want to support me after all this shit talking and stuff, you can. At the start of next month, you can join and support me on the Patreon for $25 a month. I know FSI has a bit of a cheaper package, but I don't know, man. I don't know. But it's mainly just supporting me so I can pay bills and stuff like that. So I do appreciate it. Indy Road Course in a couple weeks. I don't know, man. That's gonna be rough. Get some sleep. I went to sleep at 11 last night. Got up at 7 today. I need a lot more than just sleep, man. It's pretty rough. Let's see what else. What else is there? I can't, dude. I don't think I can do the woo. First off, I'd be very loud. I'd be echoing through. Maybe next time, Gabe. But I do appreciate you dropping a comment. I don't think I've seen you here before either. I think I'm going to end it here, guys. Best of luck. Realistically talking, I like Byron. I like Larson. I like that Larson's probably going to be under-owned, really compared to what he should be at. Those are probably the two guys I'm probably taking the biggest stance on. I'm still going to get to Hamlin. I'm still going to get to Truex. But I want some lineups with Larson and Byron in them. Going to be playing J.J. Yaley. Yeah, that's about it. Best of luck, guys. Have a good day, and I will see you guys next week whenever I do the preview video for whatever track we're at next week. See you guys then.